My parents banned my 7-year-old from Thanksgiving because she asked too many questions. So I rented a hall, invited 60 friends who actually liked her, and posted the pictures. When my mom screeched, "We're your real family," I said. "Real family shows up. I'm Will, 36, a firefighter in Ohio. I'm used to chaos, but my daughter Lily was the kind I loved." She read street signs out loud. She asked how every button worked. She talked like she had a science show in her head. My parents didn't hit her or yell. They did something colder. They treated her curiosity like clutter. At Sunday dinners, Lily would ask my dad something harmless, and he'd sigh like she'd ruined his night. "Because it just is," he'd snap. Then he'd look at me and mutter, "Tell her to give it a rest." Meanwhile, my parents loved my help. Money help, roof help, just this once help that kept turning into every month, every year. I set up an automatic $200 transfer every Friday because it was easier than another guilt call. They called me their rock. They never called Lily. 3 weeks before Thanksgiving, my mom called me at the station. She cleared her throat like this was polite. "This year," she said, "we think it's best if it's just adults and the kids who don't need so much attention." I froze with a broom in my hand. "So Lily isn't invited?" I asked. "She's 7 now," she said. "People get annoyed. We want one peaceful holiday." I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I just said understood and hung up. At home, Lily was on a stool reading a volcano book to our stand mixer. Hannah looked at me and said, "Your mom called earlier." I told them what my mom said, word for word. Lily blinked and asked, "Did I do something wrong?" Hannah turned away fast. I swallowed and said, "No, bug, you didn't." That night I opened my banking app and stared at the scheduled transfer. Friday, $200, no end date. I clicked cancel. A warning popped up. I thought about my parents cashing my help while treating my kid like an inconvenience. I hit yes. Then I booked a VFW hall for Thanksgiving. Cheap, big, a little sticky. I invited friends from the firehouse, neighbors, Lily's teacher, and anyone who'd ever answered her with good question. We put butcher paper on the tables and set out crayons. I wrote one line in marker, "What are you curious about today?" People showed up. Kids ran. Nobody shushed them. Lily bounced from table to table like she'd found her planet. She asked the DJ how his speakers worked, and he actually answered. I posted one photo of Lily standing on a chair writing, "Why is the sky blue?" Caption, "Grateful for people who love curious kids." My mom called within minutes. I stepped into the corner with my phone pressed to my ear. "What is this?" she snapped. "Thanksgiving," I said. "You're embarrassing us," she hissed. "Your father had to lie and say you had a shift." I watched Lily lean toward the DJ's mixer like it was magic. Then I slowed down, like I was talking to a rookie. Real family doesn't ban a 7-year-old for being curious. Next I said, "The Friday deposits are over." Then I added, "I canceled every transfer this morning." She went quiet, like the air got sucked out. I said, "Say her name," and waited. She snapped, "What?" Like she couldn't believe it. I repeated, "Lily," and my voice didn't shake. Silence hit the line like a dropped plate. Then my mom found her voice again. "You can't do that. We built our budget around that help." I looked out at the room, friends passing rolls, strangers laughing with my kid. "My paycheck isn't your retirement plan," I said. "And my child isn't optional," she spat. "We're your only family." I said, "No, I'm good," and hung up. 2 days later, they showed up at my door. Mom pushed in and announced, "Lily needs to hear this isn't her fault." Lily walked over holding a cardboard tube from her Mars base and asked them, flat and calm, "Are you mad because I asked too many questions?" My dad couldn't meet her eyes. Lily nodded once, turned around, and went back to building. I opened the door wider and said, 5 seconds. They argued. I called the police and told them 2 people who won't respect my boundaries won't leave. They stormed out, calling me dramatic. I locked the door and Lily asked, "Do we still have pie?" We did. They didn't destroy my family. They just proved they weren't safe for it. If you can't love my kid as she is, you don't get my money, my time, or my holidays. You get empty chairs, and I'll fill mine with people who hear why and lean in. What would you do in my shoes? Cut them off or keep the peace? Drop your verdict below.